Yo, what's up? This is Fashawn, aka El Chapo, and you're checking out thestash.com right here. Peace.
Hey, young man, you just gotta make it.
That day gave birth to everything that you're seeing now. You know what I mean? With me and Mass Appeal. Like, that day was the beginning of it all. Like, I got to meet Nas for the first time in my life. That day, I got to literally shake his hand for the first time. And then he just drags me on stage, you know? He drags me on stage and I perform the last record on this album. And, yeah. And, but yeah, he's had his eye on me for a while, I guess. I hit his radar, you know? My music finally hit the God's radar. And, he was like, yo, I need him on my team, you know? So he reached out, and I gladly accepted, you know? When Nas say he's gonna buy you a flight to New York, or Texas, or anywhere for that matter, you should take that, you know? So, more the artist who put out Boy Meets World was a lot more immature, a lot more, he thought that he knew everything about the world before he even met the world, you know what I'm saying? And I'd say the difference on this one is I'm a lot more humble, a lot more wiser, and wise enough to know that I don't know much, you know what I mean? That I'm forever learning every day. And yeah, I think that would be the difference between the guy. But musically, I don't know. It's really a continuum of the story that I was trying to tell on Boy Meets World. But this album is more like World Meet Man, like World Meet Me, like the older version, like the man version of myself, you know, opposed to just being this naive guy who thinks he knows it all. That's the difference. Cause I really had a lot to say. I really didn't intend on having too many features, but glad it ended up the way it did, man. The Buster joint, we got that on behalf of Nas. You know what I mean? To this day, I haven't even met Buster, but he loves my music, and he became a fan instantly as soon as Nas played on my music, and then he hopped on Out the Trunk, and that's how that song was born. And then Nas, that's been on my bucket list to do a song with him since I picked up a pen, and but that song in particular, Aloe Black sent me like an unreleased album, you know, of songs that he had, like 10, 11 songs. He said, yo, pick one, basically. Take it. Yeah, that's why he did that. That's why he even showed me love like that. Like, he was like, yo, take one for your album. I'm like, thank you, you know. And we took that and then took it to DJ Khalil, right? And then he just put his hands on it and took the track from like a 0 to like 100. Not even 0. It wasn't at 0 when I heard it, but it was no disrespect. But when after Khalil touched it, it just became something else. You know what I mean? And yeah, Dom Kennedy, that's my LA nigga. That's just the CA connection. But he's one of the, shout out to him right there. But that's one of the guys I respect out of the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, there's not too many of those out there on the West. No, I had the majority of the album done like before I signed. At least like 70% of the album done. But let me walk you through the process, man. I had the concept in my head to do the album around the same time I did Boy Meets World. I almost named Boy Meets World to Ecology, but I just didn't feel like that was appropriate to introduce, you know, an audience to me just with the Ecology. So I put out Boy Meets World, and yeah. So I was thinking about how it would sound and who I would have on it and things of that nature. And it took me so long, man, to actually get to the point to making the album, you know, because I had so many different offers coming at me. Like Murs wanted to do an album, people still wanting mixtapes from me and stuff like that. So I didn't have the time to really zone in on an album. So, and Exile, who was my right-hand man as far as the production, yeah, he was really busy. He was super busy, so it was hard for me to get the kind of production I needed for a strong album from him, because he was just focused on 100 different things. He had the Dag Savage album, the Blue album, the Choosy album. He's just working like a madman. So for at least 2 years, I couldn't get the Exile that I needed, you know. So I would just be working it on my albums by myself with various producers, and it just didn't have that feel to it. It just didn't have that chemistry. So yeah, a lot of the time was me waiting on Exile, and the other half of it just me really trying to discover what I wanted to say this time around, what I wanted to express as an artist, you know. And but XXL was there every session. You know, he was sitting there every session, and yeah, I think we made a classic together, man. I think this is gonna make the first album a little jealous. I really do. Sun Real is a dope artist, man. I'm happy to have him, you know, on the road with us, man. And Earth Gang, presented by Mass Appeal, Go Smart Mobile, and yeah, we're gonna just tear up cities, man. Every city we go to, man. We're gonna go to Vancouver, like Chicago, Los Angeles, of course, New York, and yeah, it's gonna bring the ecology to your city, man. Yeah, I'd have to say Something to Believe In, which is the song we're releasing today. That features Nas and Aloe Black. That's my favorite. That's probably my most powerful song to date. You know, I would say, and yeah, and just the title alone, man. You know, that's probably the most important song to me on that project for sure. That feeling, man, the feeling of this record is like it's like a triumphant record, man. It's triumphant in a lot of, just a really powerful record, man. No samples, you know, it's not the typical hip hop feel, you know. It's kind of got it's just good music in general, you know what I mean? And I would say the kind of Nas you can expect on this is, it kind of reminds me of like It Was Written Nas. It kind of reminds me of like that Chamber, you know what I mean? Yeah, like I've been wanting to hear him rap like this for a minute, you know what I'm saying? So the fact I can get him to rap like that on a song with me is just, man, it's just unbelievable. Aloe Black, he was the quarterback for this whole record, you know. His vocals and just his lyricism on it, he really led the whole song, man. And yeah, just expect the narrative of what's going on today, man, of what's going on out there in society, and it's us speaking about it, man, and trying to give people something to believe in. The Ecology is an album. It's not from a rapper. It's not a rap album. It's a real album. It's a human album. When you listen to this album, you're not gonna feel like a rapper's looking down on you, like yo, fuck your car is shitty. Check out my Benz. Your bitch is like, she's whack. Like, look at my model chick. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have a different thirst for life after you listen to this album. You're gonna have a different perception on the world, you know, after you listen to this album. And yeah, if you're a fan of music and this isn't in your collection, you should kill yourself. You should. Ding! Open the doors.